Good morning. It's our midweek edition of the program Summit, and it's really, really wonderful to be with you again today on midweek edition. My name is Jumoke Michaels. Banji, good morning.
Jumoke, great to be here, and I'm actually excited, Jumoke, because without necessarily belling the cat, I'm just excited. So, good morning, viewers. Today is the midweek edition of the program. My name is Banji Busari.
Yes, I guess Banji is excited today because somehow what we're discussing this morning is a bit out of what we usually talk about. Today we're talking about art. I said somebody will say, where are these people coming from with art? All right, but that's what we're looking at in the first segment of the program today.
The role of art in national development. Of course, we've been talking about this mono economy that Nigeria is actually confronted with and is responsible for several problems. And Nigerians are diversifying. Where else can we look up to that in terms of revenue generation and then the idea and all that? So arts has been said to be one veritable source of generating resources for this country. So we're actually looking in that direction on Summit this morning.
All right, and we have joining us a veteran visual artist, the person of Daddy Shani Jawando. You're welcome, Daddy.
Thank you.
Good to have you on our program.
Thank you.
One would think that Daddy should be resting by now.
Is it right to say septuagenarian Olasini Jawando?
Thank you.
It's our pleasure to have you, sir.
You're welcome.
Let's take it from very scratch. Tell us about your beginning, your early life. Where were you born?
My early life is not really different from the usual, especially at that period, of my life. It's only when you compare that with now, maybe I would say we really enjoy a lot of freedom. Freedom in the sense that after we don't really have such a long school hours. And then after school, we're all at home, and then playing with my mates and things like that. And we really get busy, after we must have really finished the lessons, because when we come back from school, we normally have maybe a 1 hour, 1.5 hours lessons, where you do your own works and things like that. After that, you are just on your own. And being on your own, there are a lot of friends around, and then we get together and do a lot of things. Either we are making kites, or we are really thinking of, how do we make something that can really move? And then we are going from one shed to the other, trying to pick things we can use to get whatever project we really want to do. And that is very exciting. Exciting in the sense that when you are even sending a message, where to go and get something or pick something, you have that project in your head, and you are also looking left and right. Oh, that object is going to be useful for this project, and then you pick it. And then we go to the carpenter's shops, our workshops, to pick nails and whatever, It's not like nowadays when in a standard home, you have tools that you can really use. But we really have to find every tools we want to use.
Tell us about your parents. Who were your parents and where were you born?
Now, going to my parents, I was really born at Ibadan. And then I schooled in Ibadan. I'm in my primary school. And my father, Alaji Salami Tisujawando, late now. And then I have my mom. My mom is Simbiat Niagoro. Well, from that name, it tells you exactly, where she comes from. And then it has been really been wonderful, growing up. especially in my primary schools, which is the Seventh-day Adventist in Okebola
Ibadan.
in Ibadan, you know. And then my secondary school was in Lagos.
Which school?
That's Ahmadiyya College, Agege, you know, and that's another different ball entirely because it's a boarding school.
It's a boarding school.
And it's all boys, you know. It's not a mixed school. It's all
All right,
boys.
so but along the line, where did you discover your talent for art? How did you realize that you had that gift? Or when?
I think I can say right from my primary school, because in my primary school, we don't call it that. We used to call him a craft master or something like that then. And this man is so good. He has taken us through working with clay, doing crafts, and paintings. So I started as early as that, you know. And I really enjoy doing my drawings and painting, taking time, because if you really want to do a good work, you must be ready. I mean, to give you the kind of time you need. And my dad, I have almost all the materials I needed. There's crayon, there's watercolor, there's posters. So I started doing my drawings, and because at that time, this teacher will give you marks, and I could find out that my marks is almost the highest in the class, and then a lot of people really want to see, oh, let me see your drawing, and I would say it started from that.
Right, but did you actually have a mentor, or that teacher at that primary school level continued to be your mentor?
I won't really, yeah, I can say yes, I can say no, because in those days, the kind of relationship you have with your teachers is different from now. You know,
Yeah.
it's a lot of distance,
Yeah.
you know. But when he's really working, I come around to see what he's doing, and probably, some influence, you know, by looking at people doing certain things, you are also learning,
Yeah.
you know. So I have to say yes, I picked that from him.
So how did you actually develop this talent or this stream? How did you develop it? And you also want to talk about the highlights of this career that spanned, that's 5 decades, so to speak.
Yes, when I finished my secondary school, art seems to be, I have a 1 in art.
You had a 1.
Yes.
That's A1.
Yes. And then I was also in that school doing HSC, higher school start. And I was a science student. That's it. And then the art teacher would come to me and said, "Oh, why can't you go and do art?" And I told her, I said, "No, I would really prefer to go and do architecture because they are related somehow, and I love the art of putting drawings as well as buildings and things like that." But as time goes on, Abu, University of Zaria was saying, "Oh, if you don't have the art, maths, and physics, you can't really
Study architecture.
Yeah.
study architecture." And I said, "What's it?" And I was not really ready to go and repeat that at the O level. As time goes on, I just decided, okay, instead of that, I will go to Yaba College of Tech and then go and start something. Because I've got an admission in a school in the United States. in which I've really been admitted to come and do architecture. So, and apart from that, they say, oh, art is still going to be useful. And I said, okay, let me go and do the first diploma. And then after that, maybe I will go and start my course. But in the process of that, I got so much involved and interested in what I'm really doing. And I said, oh, okay, no, let me just see this one through.
You had the choice to, over the career you wanted. The
Yes.
parents did not actually pressurize you
No,
to study a particular course.
no. I have, well, I think I have good parents. They allow you to make your choice, and they support you, and that is very, very good. Because if the support is not there, maybe, no,
Alright.
they were happy with that. Yeah.
All right, so let's look at the uniqueness of your works and what kind of message do you try to portray through your works?
So if I see Sheni Jawande works, I know these ones are Sheni Jawande works. And what?
Well, like art, what I know about art is that it's a lifetime search. It's a lifetime search.
We have something. We have
Okay,
something on the
those
screen.
are your works.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a city. Is that a city?
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
So you say it's a lifetime search.
It's a lifetime search, and you really need to really get your own identity. Yeah, and that's something about art. So what you learn from school is just a step, because you really need to go into it and develop your own style. And how do you do that? If you don't really take nature as a springboard to something new, if you are not really coming out with something new, you are not creating anything. Because art is really different from the work a camera is going to do.
Yeah.
They are not the same thing. So that's why you know there's a skill and then there's creativity. I would rather said, I would really want to be someone referred to that has creativity. Because if you have that, you must have a skill with you. The skill must be there.
All right. To an ordinary person, being an artist is like, probably with our mindset sees it more like a hobby, and it's not something that could generate enough income for a livelihood. I want you to disabuse this mindset that people have towards those who are artists.
Yes, I'm pretty sure by now. That
especially in those days.
Yeah, that concept is changing, and it's changing fast, very fast. Yes, art is not something like you are going to buy a loaf of bread somewhere. As an artist, you don't make your money on a daily basis like that. But after putting in a lot of work, and then it comes to year in, year round, and then people can see you are developing, you are searching, you are getting something new out. Oh, definitely. You will really make a good income. There's a Nigerian now in the US who sold one painting for 1.2 billion.
1.2 billion.
Yes, 1.2.
2 billion naira.
Yes, just a painting.
Just one painting.
One painting.
1.2 billion.
Yes,
In the US.
in the US.
Wow.
So why is it not so in Nigeria?
Why is it what?
Why are we not
So appreciative of
appreciating
Now,
art to that extent?
it's really getting better in the sense that when we are in school, you can really, say, point out to the number of artists that is around. With a lot of school now offering these courses and things like that, they have so many artists now. Exhibition is coming up much often than before. Maybe those days you'll be lucky to see maybe about 2 or 3 exhibitions a year. But now, in a month, you can see almost about 6, 7 exhibitions going on.
Okay, that brings to the fore your recent activity. You actually staged an exhibition recently at Eco Hotels.
Yeah.
Who actually informed the exhibition? I mean, is it in search of fame, money, or what was the motive?
Well,
can we have the exhibition now, please?
Well, when you are really arranging for an exhibition,
your friends were all there?
Yes, my friends were there, my classmates were there, my families were there, you know. A lot of people were there. People I'm even meeting for the first time were there, you know. And I was very happy to see that. Now, if you don't really have an exhibition, you can't have a patronage.
Okay.
If you don't have a patronage, you can't continue in the business.
Okay.
You can say that you know,
they are interwoven.
Yes, it's like a chain. Now, art, I mean, being an artist is not really an easy work, to be candid. You know, I could remember when I was in graduate school, my professor always said, you know, they call me, say, Shani, you know, you need to really combine some other things with this to be able to make sure you always have food on the table.
Okay.
And what is that? Teaching. So, with the mix, I mean, you must really find something to really support you when you are not really making exhibition or you don't get a commission. Because even if you have a commission, it's not all the time that you have that. And of course, when you make an exhibition and then you make some money, you know you need to spread it over some time. I mean, before you can do another exhibition.
No, this exhibition that you organized recently, I mean, was it patronized by, because they were there because they were your friends from your school days and all that?
Well, I mean, when you said it's only a very fraction of the people you saw on that day that were really my classmates that we went to school together. There's some other people there. Now, that exhibition is being called, at times, the artists also really want to see, how am I been doing? What exactly? You want to really see, oh, let me reflect and see, where am I really coming from? You've been in this profession for about 50 years. Yes, some of the works have been sold and things like that. But I can still see the trend of how I was really developing along the line.
Are you a multimillionaire now? you sold artworks, maybe not up to 1.2 billion, but at least you sold. Have you sold to government agencies and people in government? How much, how much does the government appreciate?
I've been patronized before by government, but this last one, I mean, I will tell you, that was nothing. I was really expecting the governor to come and get it open.
Was he invited?
Yes. Somebody was sent. I mean, the PS of tourism came in, and I was also thinking, because to stage an exhibition of that magnitude, you need a lot of money. The hall does not come cheaply at all.
Yeah.
The hall comes at the rate of 1.5 million a day.
Really?
Yeah.
And you were there for how many days?
I was there for 4 days.
Wow. It's a huge sum.
That's a huge sum of money. So these are money that you put aside that you should have there. Let's say you have sponsorship. But I'm very grateful to some people, to my friends, to my brothers and sisters who also help in terms of sponsorship. Now, the hall is not the only thing that you need. You also need a lot of things with it. So if you look at that, how many of the coming artists can really stage an exhibition of that magnitude? Very few. Very few. So the government patronage or people patronage is very necessary.
It's key.
It's very, very necessary.
But should government be looking at the arts as one of the areas of generating income for
Absolutely,
the
yes.
economy?
Absolutely, yes. There's nothing you look at that does not really have an art in it. Nothing. As we're here now, from our clothes, from my ties, from my shoes, from my belt, from your belt, from your bracelet, from your earrings, all these are art. So you can't run away from art. I mean, you have a car being designs, the inside, the outside. Artists make all these things. And then you see something that, oh, this is beautiful. An artist has really been involved, one way or the other. So it is a huge area for government to tap into. And you know, I give you an instance now. That there's something they call these American auctions in the US, and people get themselves together. They are getting works from artists, different artists. They put it into the market, and then they would say, "Oh, okay. After we must have sold this work, we are going to collect 35%." Do you understand? And then you will get the remaining. That's a good business.
That's good business.
So when we are saying 1.2, and then you get 35% of that, and then you get that in thousands of places, you have money. So if it is well organized in this country, government can really tap into that. And how could they do that? Number one, there must be a place for artists to show their works. That's one. Number two, you must really grant them where they can get cheaper materials. Because most of the materials we are using, they don't manufacture them here. They come from abroad. And each time we are doing that, hey, you'll be talking about dollars. Because everywhere you go now, they say, dollar Timon.
Dollar Timon.
That's what they will tell you. So, and this is also affecting all our materials we are using. I'll give you an example. There's a material under normal condition. It's about 3,005 or 4,000 at the maximum.
Dollars.
No, naira that you will buy it. But this time around, it's going to 15,000.
As a result of inflation.
So there's inflation all around the place. And if this one continues like this, a lot of people may really have to drop out from school. Because we are very lucky when we're in school. There's something like an evening school. We have schools that they do morning and afternoon. So a lot of us really have a job. We are teaching in the afternoons to really make up. Now that there's even nothing, you can imagine what's going on.
But don't you think that ministries of tourism
Yes.
are supposedly be the ones actually be in a position to harness
To drive
this
this.
industry? Yes.
Thank
This
you very much.
industry.
They need to drive it. They need to. They need to. And the first
You have a body that's actually engaging them.
Oh yeah,
engaging
we
this.
have Society of Nigerian Artists, and Lagos State chapter of that society. They are doing a lot. At least they will do one exhibition a year. And it's of it. I mean, they normally do it. They call it October Rain. They normally do it in October. And it's in Lagos. 85%, if not 90%, of artists in Nigeria are based in Lagos. So Lagos is the place where it is happening. And the government will really need to look into this and develop it and also be making money out of it. It's very, very, I think our government really need to sit down and look at it one more time.
So as we wind up this session, what should we be looking forward to when we talk about Sheni Jawando's works? Do you have any exhibition being planned in the nearest future?
Oh yes. The last solo exhibition I did was about 5 years ago, before I did this. But this, I want to be coming out more often now. I'm giving myself that kind of goal. I want to be at least having an exhibition every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
Yes. So I'm getting ready to go again, and then I'm starting.
Have you recouped your investment, the one you did recently?
I thank God.
Okay, so when you're doing exhibitions like that, you could also bring maybe paintings you didn't sell, like.
Oh yes, you can. Yeah, you can bring them back.
Okay.
But in most cases, you don't bring everything back. Yeah. You can bring some back, and if the pace is large enough, you can bring those ones back. Yeah. And then, I mean, maybe people will still be interested. Oh yes, you can do that.
Okay. Yes. So your word for the youth and the Nigerian people as a whole, as far as the work of art is concerned, most parents are not still looking in that direction. Mm-hmm. They rather pressurize their wards or children to study law, engineering, medicine, and
architecture,
architecture. Yeah. So what's your word for those aspiring and those that are not even looking in that direction?
I mean, those aspiring, I would say, you need time, you need commitment, and then you need to be patient. You can't say because Sheni Jando is painting and is getting X.
It's successful.
Yes, in terms of this. I've come a long way. I pay my dues. So with that,
that's why you could go to a hotel to stage an exhibition for 4 days.
Yeah. So when you really look at all those, it's not something that is going to happen overnight. Mm-hmm. And you need to really develop yourself. And art is not only studio work. You need to start also reading. Because Nigerians are really wonderful when it comes to studio works. But they really to match it. They have to match it with some readings.
Have some intellectual input.
Yes, you have to do that. You know. And I will also advise parents, the creative work is, you can't put a price to it. Because if you are really doing a painting now, an artist is telling a story. And the only story you can tell is about yourself. I mean, those are the things we can't really forget so easily. So if you are really telling a story, you need to be truthful. You don't really need to copy anybody. You need to develop your own style, your own way of looking at things. And that is where the reading of books and whatever will really help. Because everybody, we are all unique in our own way.
I'm curious to know the highest value of artworks you've sold.
One piece.
One piece.
I won't tell you, because I don't want the taxman to be chasing all over the place. So I won't say anything.
You probably sold the 1.2 billion.
Not yet.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, we sincerely appreciate your coming, sir, and we do very much wish you the very best in your future endeavors. And we know that 1 or 2 people have actually piqued interest from the little they've heard from you this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
You,
he came all the way from
Okumaiko.
Yeah.
That's another.
Yes.
That's,
Yes.
a friend of mine will call that place Republic of Benin.
I always call it a border.
Oh.
I live in the border.
You live in the,
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.